And we're live. Welcome to Tint Wisdom number 54. Today is Thursday, but we're going to be doing today's without a guest. But instead, we are going to use today's Tint Wisdom to go over any questions with Tint Wiz, the app. I'm going to jump into the new inventory management system. So I actually have Tint Wiz loaded up behind me. And boom, here I am. I'm still here. I'm a little smaller, but we'll be able to look at Tint Wiz this way and answer any questions, do some demos today, and try to make it a productive Thursday. I know everybody's obviously got a lot going on with the chaos in the world right now, whether you're still working, whether you're not still working, and of course, just like every other Tint Wisdom, there's no topics off limits. If you have questions about anything at all, just drop it in the comments, and I'll give everybody a few minutes to get in here. If possible, if you could share this live stream, can help other people get in here, know that we're live, and you never know, a question somebody asks that can be something that you learn. So it's more people the better. What's up, Chamal? Thanks for joining. Chamal said no biz, slow as hell. So Chamal, are you still open for business, but just been really slow? And just remind me, what area are you in? What area of the country are you in? Where it's slow, because I know we still have tint shops out there who are super busy, and then I would think that most of them are shut down, but there still are some that are just rocking and rolling and super busy, just depending on the area and what you choose to do. So always curious to hear where you're at and what is going on in your area. And then go ahead and shrink myself down, and let's get Tint Wiz up behind me. So let's move things around a little bit here. So something we've been doing on the live streams lately is live comments on screen, which is pretty cool. I'm just moving them around now so that everything fits in the area of the screen. We have Tint Wiz app behind me, and Jamal said, I know the situation. So Jamal's in McKinney, Texas. So yeah, Texas, I mean, as far as I know, most of Texas is shut down, and yeah, it can't be very busy over there. So let's jump into Tint Wiz. So again, no questions off limit. If there's something in Tint Wiz that you'd like me to go over, of course, it's as simple as just putting it in the comments and we'll do it. If it's something that's, like support that is related to, your account specifically, then the best way to do that to get any answers is you're going to go here on the left. You're going to see that there is a menu right here on the left. You're going to click at the very last one. That one says support. Now, once you're there, you'll click the live chat, and you're going to see the live chat window pop up. And that is where you can start chatting with a Tint Wiz team member right away. We do monitor the live chat ourselves. And let's see, we do monitor the live chat ourselves. So it's always a team member, one of us, that you are interacting with during a live chat. So it's not going to like a call center, like you're not talking to like a chat bot, or, it's somebody's there. We're live. We're there almost 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The reason being is we have users that use Tint Wiz in a lot of different countries. Some of those to mention would be Australia, UK, Canada, South America, and so on. And the different time zones mean that we need to be providing support at different, times of the day. So what that means to you, if you're in the United States, is, if it's 6 a.m. in the morning or it's 6 p.m. at night, one of us is on the live stream, or I'm sorry, on the live chat support, and you're able to gain access to that pretty easily. So don't ever hesitate to jump in there, and yeah, let's jump in to, let's see. So that's support. That's the live chat right there, then and there. Anytime you have something very specific to your account, that's going to be where you'd like to go. Best place to get your questions answered quickly. even if you're out on a job, obviously not many people are going to be out on jobs right now, but even if you're out on a job, you have a question, just throw it in there and answer, and we'll get an answer right away. Very, very, very simple and efficient way to do customer service, and that's why we do it. So the first thing I wanted to show was something that we have a couple features that we mentioned in last Tuesday's Tint Wisdom that are new to Tint Wiz. So one of those is the inventory system, and one of them is the tags, being able to tag a lead. So inventory is, we're going to go over both. Inventory systems, your ability to manage your flat glass window film, automotive window film, absolutely anything. And then, hey, what's up, Richard? And thanks for watching. And then we got Billy in here from Florida. I can only imagine, it's probably just slowing down everywhere. One of the comments, people would always ask on Facebook, how is it in your area? And everybody pretty much knew, even if it was busy in the area, they said, it's busy now, but it's gonna be slowing down. It's one of those things, just kind of a matter of time. And hopefully we get some real guidance in the next couple weeks as to what's going to happen. I think once we get a better idea of what's going to happen with the overall ability to work and so on, we're going to have a better idea of, a plan moving forward. So a couple of the things that we're going to go over, like I said, we're going to go over the inventory, and then we're going to go over contacts tagging, because those are two, inventories, like, in my opinion, a groundbreaking feature, something that can save you a lot of money, save a lot of time, and so on. And then inventory tagging, that's a feature that, may seem like it's like a little thing. It's very easy, and it has such a big impact. It's one of those things, like, it's organizational and helps you organize your leads, organize your contacts. And the more organized you are, you're going to find incredible ways that it pays you back by being organized. So that's tags. That's really easy, and we'll jump into them. Matt, thanks for joining. It's Matt Blackmare from Tint Stuff. And Chamal said he's requiring drop-off only and electronic payment. So that's smart, minimizing the amount of contact you have with the customers, and then also with payment and so on. So you're not handling money, you're not handling credit cards and so on. It's just a matter of limiting any sort of chances for things to spread. I think that's obviously everybody's goal, and mine is just, what can you do to limit the spread, limit the interaction, and the more you can do to limit it, the better. What's up, Rick Tallman? Thanks for joining. So let's jump into inventory first. So the inventory system we talked about on that last live stream, and what I was saying was, people are saying, can you demo it and so on, and that's what we're going to do today. Let me get the Tint Wiz off the screen here. Get one thing else. Okay, so we are going to demo the inventory system. Now, before I even demo the inventory system, I want to tell you that the inventory system isn't even deserving of being demoed, in the sense that it's so easy. We've built something that's so easy and simple to use that I don't think you need a demo. However, I understand that it's natural. Like, you might be assuming something in your head might be, oh, that's what Erik's saying. Erik's saying it's going to be easy, but, it's easy to him because he's familiar with it, or easy to him because he's a computer person, or so on. Well, I'm not really a computer person. It's not really the case. I do work on the computer a lot, but I'm not really extremely technically savvy. That's not actually my thing. What I look for is efficiency, and what I look for is making things so simple that even I can understand that. And when we can accomplish that, that it's something that I feel is actually simple, then, it's part of that goal, because making something that's difficult and needs a lot of, tutorials and how-tos, it's not something we were ever about. It was one of the initial goals with Tint Wiz, was making something that, employees, anybody can pick up too quickly, because, the amount of training something requires to learn is, a big part of using something. So, there's a CRM called Salesforce. Salesforce is an incredible system, but the learning curve, it could take you years to master it, literally years. And, obviously nobody wants to spend years learning a CRM system. You want to be able to train people quickly. You want to be able to do it yourself. For that to be possible, you want it to be intuitive. So let's look at this. I want to show you how intuitive it is, and we'll go through it together. You'll see what I'm talking about. And what's up, Mike Powell? Thanks for joining in. And, you know, Chamal said precautions, man, that's it. And that's exactly what it's about. So, all right. So introducing inventory management. It's a rock solid inventory management for is, you know, necessity for any company. We built a refreshingly simple one. Stay on top of your inventory and so on. So this is going to be that welcome message that you see at the top of your screen. And you're going to notice that is going to have it's a little guide for you as you go through the inventory system. It'll guide you along the way. And let's jump in. So you can see there's a get started button right there. There's also on the right here, you see a tap to add a role. And then you see here, right here as well, you can see add your first role. So all three are going to accomplish essentially the same thing. You can't really go wrong. So let's do that. Let's click to add our first role. And you're going to see it's going to be a little search film box right here, search film type, and you can see all the different brands of film in here. Now, if there's a film that you carry or use that you don't see in here, send us a message in support. We'll get it added. It's a very quick process for us, and we'll get it in there. So let's jump in, and let's say we're going to add a roll of Hooper Optic. My mouse happens to be on it. So let's say it's a 40-inch roll of a Hooper Optic ceramic 40 roll. So I've selected that roll. You can see this is the first roll of film that we're adding here. So it automatically set it as inventory roll number 10,001. We're going to enter the roll width. Let's assume it's a 72-inch wide roll. And then we're going to enter the length, which is a 100-foot roll. Let's assume this is a brand new roll. It's 72 inches wide, 100 feet full roll. Okay. Now under here, you can put the retail cost, and you're going to see how that benefits you. It is an optional feature, but let's do that. And let's go ahead and I'm just going to put in a random number in here. This has no relevance to the actual cost of the film, but let's put it in at $1,400. And then you can see here on the right, we have core weight and full weight. Those are two things that I am going to explain in a minute. You're going to see those features, but for now, we're going to ignore them. They are, as you see, optional right here. So we'll just move on with just the roll width, the roll length, the roll cost. So I'm going to hit save roll. I think that was rather easy. And you can see that you're all done. Managing your rolls is as easy as adding them. Now you can find your rolls by their code. You can see how much square feet is left in them. You're able to check rolls in and out from inventory. So what that means is, you know, if you're using the roll, if it's not, let's say you assume inventory is at your shop, and if you're using the roll, you can actually check it out. That lets you know you have it, you have possession of it. Now that's going to be extra helpful when you have multiple team members working within your business. So if installer John takes a roll out of his inventory, out of your inventory rather, he's going to be able to click the checkout. I'll show you that in a minute. And then that's going to show you that he currently has that roll of film. Then when he drops it off, he's able to check it in. And that way you know it's back in your inventory. So you know not only what you have possession of as a business, but you're going to know where it is, if it's in your shop or if somebody has it with them. And then lastly, you're going to enter what's left on the roll when you check in and out to track how much is left in the roll. So there's going to be a couple different ways to track your film. One of those ways is just entering cuts, entering the information of how much film you used or how much film you have left. Then the other one is going to be the weight method. The weight method is a way that if you enter in your core weight, so you have to know how much that plastic core weighs on its own. And if you know that weight and you know the total weight of your film, just the full roll of film that you're entering in there. In this case, it's a 72-inch roll by 100 feet. So if you know the core weight and you know the weight of that roll of film and you enter those two things in, then what that's going to allow you to do is at any point throughout the life cycle of you having that roll of film, you're able to throw it up on a scale, get the precise weight of it. You're going to enter the weight into Tint Wiz, and it's going to calculate exactly to the foot how much film is actually left in that roll. And again, all you need to know for that is the core weight and the film weight. So that is kind of, there's two main ways people keep track of film. One's going to be just knowing the cuts that you're taking out of the film, and the other method is the weight method, and you're able to do both of those methods using Tint Wiz. It does all the math for you. It's really simple, and let's go ahead and start doing that. Now, Rick asked, how did you shrink yourself so small? That's some ant stuff, man, Erik. That computer screen is huge. So It is, and I'm actually in front of your comment. So let me move your comment up there so everybody can see it. So this is, um, I don't know. I don't have anything clever for this one, but you're absolutely right. I did think about that. I am making myself small. It's like a Honey I Shrunk the Kids type of thing. But as far as how I did it, it was pretty simple using the program that we broadcast off of. But clever joke, I don't have one at the moment. And I'm going to move the comments up to the top for now, which hopefully makes them a little more visible for everybody. So he said, you know, the screen's huge, which meant I shrunk, which is absolutely accurate. I'm still over here. So let's see, I'm moving the screen around now. Let me get back into the browser and let me show you what we're talking about here. So in this, you can see we have the film roll number. We know how many, what size it is. It's 72 by 100. This is where you can check it in and check it out. You're going to see that currently it's showing that it's checked in. So you can see it's in inventory right here in the middle of the screen where my mouse is moving around frantically. And then on the right, you're going to see a little button here that I'm hovering over that says check out. So I'll just show you that. If I checked it out, you're going to see that it's checked out. It gives me an opportunity to update the film length. It's still a brand new roll, so we're not going to have to update it. You're going to see that now it shows that it's out right here. And you can see in the film history that I checked it out. You know, my demo username here is Michael Young. So it's showing that Michael Young checked it out, and it's showing the date and timestamp. I'm in Los Angeles right now, so it's showing my timestamp at 4:22 p.m. So if you were, you know, my manager and you're, or anybody in the team, let's say, and you're going ahead and looking in and seeing the inventory, you're going to be able to see that Michael Young checked it out. You're going to see how much film they had on the roll when they checked it out. It's an opportunity to update it if it wasn't accurate. You're going to see when exactly it was checked out, and you're able to see that I still have possession of it. You can see that the status right here says checked out, and then as we go down this list, you can see the roll width, 72 inches, the roll length, the current length, which is the same because it's still a full roll, the square footage on the roll when it's full, which is 600 square feet. You can see the square footage left, which in this case, again, it's a brand new roll, so it's the full amount. You can see the roll cost, and then you can also glance and see what your cost per square foot is. So this is going to be an easy place that once you start entering your cost for the full rolls, you're able to, you know, in Tint Wiz now see what's the cost for that film. What do you have in inventory? What's your cost? And, you know, that can just be helpful. So another thing you have here is print label. So print label is pretty freaking awesome. I'm going to click it, and you're going to see my screen pop up, and you're going to see this label up here, okay? Now, this label, it's opened in my browser right now, and I look extra tiny now that it's just a little label above me. But this label, you can actually just print this label onto using a label maker or a regular printer and tape, whatever you want to do. And you can stick it on the side of your box. And then that's going to allow you then, you can open up your camera in your phone. You can scan this QR code just with your camera. You don't need a special app or anything like that. You just open your phone, scan that QR code, and it's going to automatically open Tint Wiz and take you to this inventory roll of film. So that is a super easy way to create labels for your film, for your box ends. The labels have the information of what's on there for you to visually see it, and then you can use your phone, open your camera, scan it, and pop up that film, you know, in 1 second, basically. So it's a really, really cool label system, and we do have some dealers testing the label makers that we recommend in the scales, and we will be doing an updated video. I do actually have a scale here, but I don't have a label maker yet. So we actually sent them out to dealers to test, and I wanted to send out to as many as possible, so I don't have one in front of me, but label makers are that simple. You hit print label, and you can see it's going to pop open that label with that with that information. You can print it, and that's it. And we've actually found label makers where you're able to print it wirelessly from your phone or your iPad. So that's really cool as well. The printing process is super simple. You can see notes over here. These are going to be notes, anything you want to randomly add. Notes can be super helpful because when you're able to click and add a note for yourself or somebody in the team, notes are just the less mental notes you have and the more digital notes you have, the less like chaos you have going on in your mind. Because what happens is when you try to remember things, and everybody's trying to just remember things mentally, it kind of adds this level of like anxiety and anticipation and making sure you don't forget, remembering it off times, reminding yourself and all that. And that is all mental energy that is better off preserved. And you also save yourself from those times where you forget. And you're reminded by a mistake or by a customer or by a bad scenario. And those reminders are not good reminders. You want to use digital reminders. Clear your mind of this sort of stuff and remember it where it's meant to be remembered, which is in Tint Wiz. So let's see. Carrie, Carrie said wizardry, and then she said, "You know what they say about dudes with big screens." That's hilarious. What's up, Chris Queen? Thanks for joining. Chris, it seems like I hope I don't know. Thanks for watching, man. I know you're busy with work, and I know you've got a lot going on in your personal life too, and I appreciate you joining. And I hope you're doing great. I hope you're dealing with everything regarding your Facebook posts and everything today. So, everybody's got a lot going on now, and like everybody's been saying, this is a time to stick together. It's a time to focus. It's a time to, be present and just do what you can. Do what you can for yourself, for your community, for your family, for your future. And one of them is having your inventory in line. Jordan says, yeah, big screen means a lot of content. Absolutely. A lot of content, big screen. And this inventory system was something we've had in the works for so long, and it looks so simple, and it takes so long to make something so effective and so simple and work so smoothly, and that's why I'm especially excited about it. So you can see, let's see, where would you go from here? So I'll show you what happens. When you check it back in, you can go to check in, and you can see, like, let's say we used 20 feet. So I'm going to say, the length on the roll is now 80 inches. I'm sorry, 80 feet left on the roll. I'm going to hit update roll, and you're going to see that now the film is checked back in. You can see it's back in inventory. You can see in the updated history that, Michael Young, which is my demo account, checked it in at 80 feet, meaning I used 20 feet. You can see exactly when it was checked back in and so on. And then if you scroll down here, you're going to see those stats update that the full length was originally 100 feet. Then it went down to 80 feet. Now it's currently at 80 feet. You can also see how many square feet's left. So there's 480 square feet left on the roll because 20 linear feet were cut off that roll. And again, you're reminded out of your cost per square foot right below it. So that's inventory at a glance. You can see we're done here. You can see when we go back into the inventory system, you're going to see the Hooper optic. I'm kind of in the way. Let me see which direction I need to go. So you can kind of see, that's weird, I'm trying to get out of the way, but you can see that there's a Hooper Optics Ceramic 40 roll in inventory, and you can see right now it's not tied to any sales. And when you have questions, you can click on these things like this, like how many projects were installed using this film type and so on. These are also things that are tracked with the Tint Wiz inventory. And, I want to keep this demo extremely simple, but with everything, once you get into it, you're going to see how many features there are, how many features we've packed in here, yet how simple it is. Here you can see unit retail price. So you can actually set the price now of the film. So you can set fixed pricing for this film. So in your Tint Wiz, you're actually able to say like, hey, ceramic 40, I want to charge $13 a square foot. And when you enter that retail price in there, it's going to automatically, when you create a proposal, it's going to automatically calculate that $13 a square foot times the square footage in your proposal. And you are going to have that automatically populate on your proposal. And then you can edit it from your proposal and adjust it as needed right there on the fly. So I'll give you an example. You're quoting somebody on 30 square feet of Hooper Optics Ceramic 40. If you have that amount per square foot set at $13, it's going to automatically multiply that $13 by that square foot amount. That price is going to now automatically populate on your proposal. Previously, you would have to manually enter your proposal price. Now your price will automatically be calculated by the square footage by your square footage price, pop up on your proposal, and then right then and there, you can just backspace it and adjust it. If you want to charge more for that job or less for that job, you can do that. So, um, let's see. Mike Powell said, I need elastic about a 1/4 inch wide, please, please, please. So what Mike Powell is talking about here is Mike is a freaking amazing guy, and he's been working with someone in his area that's able to provide face masks, and he kind of put a message out there saying, if anybody needs these face masks or anything made, just let him know he has somebody. And then I know he did get a request for like hair nets and face masks and so on. So he's just kind of putting that message out there. If anybody has 1/4 inch elastic, please get in touch with Mike Powell, because obviously that's probably a necessary part, whether it be for the face mask or for the hairnet or something else that they're fabricating. And along those lines, if you haven't seen, Expel came out with a face mask as well. So they came out using their existing products. They came out with what I would call a face shield. So it wraps around the top of your head. It's a shield. It's clear. It kind of covers your entire face. And frankly, it's not going to kill any viruses, but it's not meant to kill any viruses. It's meant to be a shield between you and the person in front of you, whether it's shielding you from germs coming your way or it's shielding germs from you going towards somebody else. That's its purpose. And we're working on getting some of those shields so we can get them out to our users, because at the end of the day, any reduced exposure, whether you're in business now, whether you use them at your business, whether you use them later when you reopen, or whether you use them around friends and family or whoever you have to interact with, it doesn't matter. Just use them. And we do have some on the way. It is going to take a little while to get them. Obviously, first priority is going to medical staff and scenarios like that actually, really, really, really need them. And then once we're able to get a hand on them, they're going to go out. You'll see them coming in the mail. And we're really excited about that. I'm really excited that Expel did that, pulled that off so quickly. It's a big deal. It's a big deal that they were able to do that. So I really like that, and that's kind of what this is all about. One of the things that Harry asked in Tuesday night's Tint Wisdom was, what do you see? Where do you see the big picture? What do you see in 5 years and so on? And really, when it comes to talking about Tint Wiz, of course, we have a lot of features and so on that within Tint Wiz that we're excited to build out. We're excited to get out there, ways for you to be more efficient with your business. But ultimately, the bigger goal is, just finding ways to help the tint industry, to help whether, whatever it is, in any way. It's a community, and, we appreciate being part of the community, and we look forward to doing as much as we can in the community over time. And this is just stands out as one of those opportunities. You see a company, working hard to do something that's literally going to save lives. It literally will save lives. It will have an effect on people and people's lives and businesses and so on. And we see that, definitely going to try to do absolutely everything possible. So next thing that I wanted to go over, inventory in a glance, we just did. Next thing I wanted to go over was contacts and what tags look like. So for tags, I'm going to go ahead and add a contact right here. Now I'm on the main screen. Let me get some comments up. Rick said, big things coming, y'all. Always big things coming. And Rick, thanks for watching and commenting. Your support, WFR support. There's some giveaways going on in WFR, which are awesome. Melissa from ExoShield was putting together, and she's just always been, Rick, Melissa, everybody in there. There's such a strong sense of community in that group, and super appreciative of being a part of it. Jordan said, I always look forward to this podcast. I swear it's the best. I appreciate that. You have no idea how much I appreciate you saying that and joining in and so on. It really does mean the world, and it's a big deal to have everybody support. And I just very much happy to be in a position to be able to help in any sort of way, be able to do this sort of thing and so on. And and Rick said, hell yeah to Expel. For real. Amazing job, Expel. Just pat yourselves on the back because it's like you get a company like that. There's a lot that can be done right now, and look where their focus is. And that's impressive. Adam Green, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. Thanks for commenting. Rick said, people coming together next level during this time. And Adam said, my shop is hemorrhaging money. Adam, I'm just curious. I mean, of course, your shop's hemorrhaging money because I'm sure things are slower or you're closed. What is going on? Are you completely closed? Are you open? Are you paying your employees from home? I'm just curious, what everybody's doing. And what I'd really love to hear from, whether it be in the comments this time or if it's something you want to leave in the comments after the live stream or reach out to me privately or whatever it is. But I'd love to hear from some shops that are paying their employees to stay home, but still employing their employees from home. So what I mean is who's not only paying your employees to stay home, but actually giving them work to do and working together. So like when they're home, they're actually working in some sort of way, whether it be, working on systems to be put in place or improving knowledge on products or, what is it? What type of things are you having your employees do if they're working for you from home? Or is this a time where you're paying them to to stay home, but it's looked at as maybe like some of the guests on Tuesday's live stream said, they're at home, but this is kind of like an early vacation. They've come to agreements with their employees that they're going to take early vacation, use those vacation days now, and then not necessarily use them at the rest of the year when they're trying to make up. So just curious what everybody's doing and how you're finding best use for your staff during this time, because if you're going to be hemorrhaging money, which everybody essentially is, you want to find ways to make that money back, whether you're making it back currently in some way, which is probably going to be rather unlikely, but more than likely you can find ways that you're going to make that money back quicker and sooner once things get back rolling because of things you've done now. So Adam said one-man shop, and closed until further notice. So the good thing here, Adam, is you're saying you're a one-man shop, you're closed until further notice. So the money you're hemorrhaging, you're losing your income. Okay, let's look at this. You're losing your income. So if you take your income and you cut it down into what's your absolute part of that income did you need to pay bills, that's the number I'd focus on. Because if your income was large enough that you were able to save money, then you don't need to worry about how much you're losing that you're not saving. Just look at how much is going out right now that you're closed. So things that are going to go out are probably going to be like rent as far as your shop goes, and then loss of business, which is going to be a loss of income for yourself. So, if you're going to have to pay your rent, that's money that you're hemorrhaging for sure. And then the money you would normally pay yourself to pay your own bills, you're hemorrhaging that money. Now, with that said, it's probably not that bad. Let me just kind of throw some numbers out there. Let's just say that your rent is about $2,000 a month. That means for every week closed, you're losing about $500 that the business would have paid for that's going to come out of your pocket. And let's just say your personal expenses are about $3,000 a month. So if we add those up, the $3,000 of personal expenses that normally you would have made that money from your business, and then the $2,000 worth of rent at your shop that normally you would have paid for with your business, between the two, you're potentially losing about $5,000 a month. Now, $5,000 a month is a lot of freaking money. It's not nothing. But so far we've only been on this kind of lockdown for about a week to 2 weeks, depending on where you're in the country. Let's call it 2 weeks, okay? So far in that scenario, you've lost about $2,500 in money, okay? Now let's say this goes on for another 4 weeks. Just throwing out a number. I'm not saying it's going to go on for 4 weeks or more or less. Hopefully it's less, but let's just say it's another 4 weeks. So we're looking at 6 weeks total. It's a month and a half. It's $7,500 that between your personal expenses and your business expenses you would have put out there. Now, in a month and a half of a world pandemic, a crisis, something we've never seen before, something we didn't see coming, something that right now is causing a lot of fear and anxiety in everyone, $7,500 being out is not the end of the world. Whether you have that money saved or it's going on a credit card, if you're in a tint business, you're probably going to be able to make up that $7,500. Now, something that I try to remind myself, it doesn't necessarily affect, Tint Wiz per se, but it's just something that I keep thinking about when, we're talking about people being closed and losing that business that they're expecting. Is I know in my previous tint company, when we would have holidays, when there would be days that were closed for some reason, let's say something to do with the weather and extreme weather, like you had days where the rain was so bad that you didn't get any calls because it was just super crazy, or if there was a holiday. Well, what seemed to happen was there was always like a rebound effect. So like if Monday everything was shut down for some reason because of a holiday, well, Tuesday seemed to be as busy as a Monday and a Tuesday combined. It's almost like the people who didn't get what they were going to do on Monday plus the people from Tuesday all do it on Tuesday. So what I'm saying is I think there's still going to be a rebound effect while people, of course, are going to be maybe more financially strapped, and maybe that will have a trickle-down effect on them using window film and paint protection and so on. At the end of the day, there is going to be some sort of a rebound effect coming in, and a month and a half, $7,500, not nothing, but not the end of the world. Okay. And even if now you say, well, what if it takes 3 times that? Let's say it takes, or 3 times as 3 months rather. Let's say it takes 3 months total. 2 weeks ago, 2.5 months from now. Okay. Again, for a one-man band at those numbers that I, made up, but I feel it probably fit a lot of businesses, give or take. You're talking about a $15,000 hit. And a $15,000 hit in a business that makes $2 or $3 or $400,000 in revenue in a year, well, the fact is it's part of life, it's part of business, it's part of our reality now, even if this is the first time, and it's a lesson for the future, and it's not going to be the worst lesson. Now, the example I gave isn't necessarily like everybody's example. Now, I can give you a very different example, one that includes a team of 6 employees and a payroll of $4,000 or $5,000 a week and rent of $2,000 a week. And now you're talking about a month could cost you $15,000 or $20,000, and that means over the course of 3 months you could be out $50,000 or $60,000. And I understand everybody's situation is different. I just wanted to use Adams as an example, and it wasn't Adams really. It was kind of just a hypothetical based on Adams saying he's hemorrhaging money, but he's a one-man band, and I just, kind of want to throw out there. And Adam said, he supports him, his wife, and his grandson. And of course, the more mouths you have to feed, it's the unknown of how you're going to feed those mouths, how you're going to take care of your family, how long this is going to last, and what kind of hole you could dig yourself in with this. But at the end of the day, whatever is going to happen is going to happen. That's the case. Whether this lasts 2 months or 6 months, whatever is going to happen, it's going to happen. We're, as people, along for the ride. The best we can do is plan, navigate our future, take every day, day by day, but navigate what's actually happening. Don't try to navigate things that you make up in your mind that may be worse than what's actually going to happen, because it's going to be hard enough to navigate reality, let alone the fears and catastrophes that your imagination can make up. And Adam said he's good for about 8 months. Well, Adam, you're good for about 8 months, then you're good, because 8 months is a long time from now. And, you have to, if society and businesses are shut down for 8 months plus, there's going to be support there. You're not the only one. Things are there's going to be something going on here. So should be good. Jordan said, the bounce back is going to be intense. Imagine all the people waiting to get their cars tinted and everything to open up. Extreme flow in the industry. And there's going to be the scenarios where let's say car dealers, they're taking a hit. Of course, they're not selling cars. But then what's going to happen probably? There's going to be insane deals on cars coming out of this. There's going to be 0% interest rate offers, which there already are. That's going to mean there are going to be a portion of people who say, oh my gosh, I'm going to, I have to catch up on my car payments. But there's going to be a whole nother crowd of people who say this is the perfect opportunity to buy a car. And those people are going to be an influx of new car owners. And that means new window tint purchasers. So, you have to know it's a pendulum. It swings in all directions, and you're going to be fine. Adam said, I've got a lot of customers that will wait for me. And if this happened last year, would be devastated. And that's, Adam, that's first of all, that's incredible. You have a lot of customers waiting for you, and you've built that customer base, and you're pointing out if it would have happened a year ago, how devastating it would be. Well, it's awesome that you're not in that position, and I hope nobody is to where it's devastating. But of course, everybody's in a different position. Everybody's business looks different. Everybody's in a different part of their journey. There's people who are just starting off. There's somebody out there who signed a lease 2 weeks ago. And, I know Rick Tallman's one of those. He upgraded shops. I mean, he's a very established window tinter, and his shop sounded like a great move, no matter what's happening in the industry or in the economy rather. But there's somebody out there who just maybe 3 weeks ago said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to take the biggest jump in my life. And they hired somebody, or they rented a new location or whatnot. And I mean, that can lead to straight up panic. And the reason I'm saying that is, it's all lessons learned. It's all ways we can support each other. Share your experience. It all helps, and it helps put things into perspective, because everybody can learn from somebody who was in their position previously, and they can teach somebody who is in their previous position. So Jordan says, shows there always needs to be a backup plan. Absolutely. And again, if it just takes this to set your backup plan, then I think this is something, it's a silver lining. It's a silver lining in this whole terrible scenario, because we're looking at this scenario as something that may last months, but it may not. And it may last only months. It may not last years. We're looking at weeks, months, and so on. But there are scenarios we can all put into place that if we were hit with them, we would be going, this is going to last years for sure. There's things that can't be fixed as quickly as potentially something like this can. So, in the grand scheme of things, this is terrible, but it could be a lot worse. So, that's it, Adam says, when I do reopen, it's going to be coffee till noon, then five then 5 energy all night. And that's him catching up. So 5-hour energy, coffee all, first part of the day, 5-hour energy all night. And then when you do go home to shower, you'll probably fly there from Red Bull, because it gives you wings. Jamal said, everyone's situation is completely different. Majority will struggle, some won't. Absolutely. I mean, I doubt there's anybody who's completely not struggling at this point, but certainly the level of pain is going to be different for everybody. And, that's where we can all come and support. Here's the thing. Window tinting is a freaking amazing industry. It's an amazing business. There's a lot of money to be made. And the smaller your company is, probably the smaller the pain is going to be to make it through these times. The bigger companies have more mouths to feed, more overhead to cover, and, it's a bigger cash flow scenario. So, with that said, bigger companies do have the opportunity to make more money, make more profit. If they have a 10 or 20% profit margin, they do $1 million a year. That's a $200,000 profit in a year. You can make up a $20,000 loss very quickly. If you're a $3 million company at a 20% profit margin, you're making $600,000 a year in profit. You can make up a $50,000 or $100,000 loss quickly. Now, with that said, you can also go in the hole and backwards quicker too. If you're a small company, maybe you only profit, you do $200,000 a year, you profit $40,000 or $50,000. A $10,000 or $15,000 hit is going to take a few months to make up. The bigger, it's more money, more problems. That's what it is. It's the bigger your business is, the bigger the problems feel, but the quicker and bigger opportunity you have to get yourself out of those problems. So, it comes with the territory. Anyone who was expecting this situation, Vinny said, I'm not panicking, taking time to create YouTube page. That's incredible, Vinny. YouTube page is one thing that, is one example of something that you can do right now that when you come out of this is going to springboard you into more business. And you could look back 6 months or a year later and go, wow, look how much business we get from our YouTube page. Look how important our YouTube page is to our business. Would we have a YouTube page if not for the Corona crisis? So those are types of kind of like shifts and pivots and so on that you can look back on and just be blown away, and be thankful for a time like this. And I'm not saying that you're going to be thankful right now, But the idea is you literally could do things right now that you'll look back on and say, wow, if it wasn't for that coronavirus, how different things would be, how much better things are now than if that never happened and didn't have that wake up call and so on. So Rick said, still nerve wracking investing more money at this time, though. Definitely. But think of it this way. If everything ends, like if it's like the end of the world as we know it, then what's the difference? You spent a little more worthless money. And, the money would be worthless anyway. And if things get back to normal, then you're going to be happy you did it. So I don't think this is the end. It's still sunny outside, and while there are a lot of sick people out there, and we're all not used to being home, we could look at it as, you can look at how much we've lost. We've lost access to the outside. We've lost our businesses. A lot of us has lost businesses. We can't go to work and so on. But how much have we gained? Have we gained a sense of community? Have we gained a lesson moving forward? Have we gained a chance to reevaluate what we're doing? Gaining every time you're losing. So, it is a pendulum. You have to look at both sides, and you have to focus on what you have control over, what you can do, and let the rest of it, just handle it as it comes. Chamal said, for any situation, you have to be ready because we never know what's going to happen tomorrow. And then Jordan said, silver linings lead to golden opportunities. I love that. I love that because gold is more valuable than silver. So silver linings lead to golden opportunities. Absolutely love that. Rick said, use this time to figure out how to wow customers when they come back. Absolutely. So, it's not going to go from this to everybody forgot about this ever happening. It's going to go from this to, being able to open, maybe opening limiting hours, maybe opening under certain restrictions and guidelines for health and safety. So these are times where you can start to think, okay, when I'm able to reopen and I get that first customer in there and I get that first 10 customers in there, what can I do as a service? What can I do as a business? How can I improve their experience, both related to health and just in the business in general? Because there is going to be that transition period. Consumers are going to be looking for businesses that take health seriously. You may have somebody coming in there the second you reopen, sneezing and coughing, and you're even going to look at that and be like, oh, I don't know about this. Maybe it was too early to reopen. But you're also going to have customers who start to kind of shop based on cleanliness and based on where they feel comfortable taking their business. A clean restroom was kind of something that was often thrown around as a way that a customer is comfortable coming into your business. If you have a clean waiting area, a clean parking lot, a clean website, a clean bathroom, a clean everything, right? Well, now those, like health is a whole brand new category that people will have on their mind. It may not be everybody, but you're not worried about everybody. You're worried about the people who are taking it seriously and giving you the opportunity to set yourself apart. So this is a time to set yourself apart. David said, so true. And Rick said, Tint Wiz can wow them. You said it, but I'll say it too. Tint Wiz can definitely wow them. It does wow them. People are impressed. They're impressed when you have an iPad out. They're impressed when you're taking pictures. They're impressed when they see you using technology. These are things that you don't know that they're thinking ahead of time. You don't know, but you might be in the home of, or you may have somebody in your car tint shop. Either way, you may be dealing with a customer that maybe is struggling to put systems in their business. Maybe somebody who's very organized, maybe somebody who's not organized and thinks and knows they need to be organized. Maybe somebody who's technologically challenged and impressed with technology. Maybe somebody who's up to date with technology and still impressed with technology. But the point is, when they see you doing things in an organized fashion, things do go through their head, and they don't always vocalize it, but those can be aspects that help shape their impression of you, your business, how you're running your operation, how you're treating them, and so on. And all those factors go into the difference between selling somebody, not selling somebody. Jordan says, makes you really go outside of the comfort zone. Might even make some things happen that you never know would be an option. Absolutely. And you think, you said it, go outside your comfort zone. So, it's so easy when we were coronavirus free, before this all happened. every week's coming along. Cool, there's a Tesla Model 3 coming in. Hey, we sold more this month than we did last month. Hey, we scheduled this amount of consultations. Hey, we're growing this over last year and so on. And you're just kind of week after week going through those things. But when do you really get that screeching record to when you're like, okay, let me stop and evaluate? When do you take a look at the real bigger picture of how do you, what's your payroll look like? What do your expenses look like? What is your overhead like? What do your offerings look like? What would you do if window tint wasn't offered any? What if you had to survive on something other than window tint, or should you supplement your business with other things? Like, this is that time. So, when Jordan says going outside your comfort zone, that the reason they call it a comfort zone is because you're comfortable inside of it. And that's where we get week after week. We get in a comfort zone. Even when you try to challenge yourself, you're still in a comfort zone. Things like this that feel uncomfortable, that cause anxiety, that cause fear, these are things that take us out of our comfort. So you need those sorts of fears. You need those sorts of extreme scenarios sometimes to really take you out of your comfort zone. So if you were outside your comfort zone before the coronavirus, well, you're further outside your comfort zone now. And that, like was said in the comments, is a silver lining. You can find a silver lining, and that leads to a golden opportunity. David Sarah said, Tint Wiz plus booties plus a uniform equals happy customers. Well, booties, absolutely. Tint Wiz, absolutely. Uniform, absolutely. And happy customers, of course. But, I like that David brought up a uniform. So just a uniform. Now, you may even underestimate what a uniform does as far as impression to a customer. So let me give you an example. Uniform. You are likely wearing, if you're wearing a uniform, which I hope everybody wears some sort of company shirt when they're working, you're either wearing a t-shirt, you're probably wearing a polo shirt, or you're wearing a button-down shirt, right? Now, psychologically, first of all three of those can be brand new. They can be clean, they can be never worn, they could be just the cleanest things ever. But psychologically, when you see somebody in a t-shirt, then you see somebody else in a polo shirt, then you see somebody else in a button-down shirt, all things equal, does the button-down shirt have a different impression than the t-shirt? Does somebody coming to you in an embroidered polo shirt have a different effect than a screen printed t-shirt? It absolutely does. A t-shirt's a t-shirt. You see people cutting lawns in t-shirts. You see people doing dirty jobs in t-shirts. Everybody wears t-shirts. I'm wearing a t-shirt right now. T-shirts are t-shirts. They're comfortable. But t-shirts, if you think of a slob on a sofa, what do you think of? You think of somebody sitting there in a t-shirt with stains on their t-shirt. Okay, even worse, a tank top. But you see where I'm going with this. But what I'm trying to get at here is, in this incredible visualization I'm trying to paint out here, is, when we say uniform, it's a time to evaluate your uniform and say, do I want to walk into people's homes? Do I want to greet customers in the t-shirts we were wearing? Or do I want to step it up and wear a white button-down shirt for consultations, or even for potential installation, short sleeve, long sleeve, whatever it is, but a button-down shirt, or at least a polo that shows the customer, wow, this person's clean. Like, if you see somebody in a bright white shirt, it's clean. If you see him in like a wrinkly black shirt, now I'm questioning it. I'm questioning how many times you've worn that, when the last time you washed that, and so on. These are all things that go into your mind. And if you're showing up to somebody's door, you're knocking on the door, you're, greeting them. Hopefully you're not shaking their hands. And now you're going to be touring their house and walking around with them. A white shirt, an embroidered shirt, something that they can tell you're super fresh and clean, that is going to go in your favor when it comes to that consultation. And what it's going to lead to not only is a sale, but it's going to lead to reviews, because again, people are going to be looking for this sort of thing. So when they see you, when they see that you take it seriously, those are going to be things that they start to leave in reviews on their own. Then people read that in reviews, and that can be deciding factors between them using your business or them using somebody else's. So definitely want to take the uniform up and beyond. It's not just a matter of identifying yourself. The uniform is not just a way to identify yourself. It's a way to show your cleanliness and organization of your business and what you stand for. So Rick said, customers' thoughts. Wow, this business is on point. I feel great about them and trust them. I mean, Rick is currently, he just posted pictures of his new shop, and he's painting his new shop today, or it was being painted. I don't think he was painting it, but he was taking pictures. But somebody was painting his shop today, and it's painted a bright white. And when you're, if you're one of his customers 3 weeks from now, we all come out of quarantine, we're all, kind of coming out of the house and going into this business, you're going to walk into Rick's shop, you're going to see this fresh, clean, bright white shop, and you're going to know that you arrived at Tint Heaven and everything's clean and ready to go. And what a good feeling that is going to be for Rick to be able to present his services in such a way. David said, now's the time to reboot. And Rick said, it's uncomfortable for me to be in a bikini in front of my shop, but thanks to you, I'm doing it tomorrow. I don't know what I did to inspire that, but please make sure you get it on video and post it. Mike Powell says, I haven't watched Harry with Veloce last Thursday. If you haven't watched Harry with Veloce last Thursday, then that's a must. It's about anxiety and how to deal with it. So what Mike Powell is talking about is Harry's Super Thursdays. He does them on the Veloce Dealers Facebook page. You'll see the videos there. It's Harry. He takes about 10 minutes. He makes about a 10-minute video every Thursday. And last Thursday, so not today, but 1 week ago's Thursdays, was kind of about anxiety and how to deal with this time. And today he did one as well. It was a part 2. It was a follow-up. And another great video to watch. Definitely check out Veloce's Super Thursdays. I say it like that because that's how Harry says it. He says Super Thursdays, and then there's kind of like a noise, and then it starts, and it's kind of catchy. Rachel said, hello, how's it going? Hey, Rays, thanks for joining us in. I hope everything's great with you. And Jordan says he rocks the Tinter shirts. I like the Tinter shirts. I like everything about it. And, but I'm just saying there's an opportunity now, instead of rocking a T-shirt, to take, at the end of the day, think about this. Your city's shut down right now. All the tint shops are closed except for, the one guy down the street that's still open, and he sucks, and he's charging $79 per car and so on. But other than that, everybody's closed. Now, in a couple weeks from now, business opens. Everybody's, back running and so on. If you have the opportunity to stand out because of your appearance and your employees' appearances, you want to take that appearance. You want to take advantage of it. I just believe in, there's a lot of factors in a business and how you run the business that are totally fine. When you look at things individually, you go, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. But if you can turn it up a notch, if you can take it from fine to incredible, and you do that on these little small things, just like little tiny things, like you have hand sanitizers throughout your shop for customers to just use. The littlest things, the smells in there, the extra clean, a sign that shows how much you care, how seriously you're taking, and your procedures. These little things, they all add up. And before you know it, you're going, wow, we're killing it. And why are we killing it? Well, we did all these little things a little better. So, while I definitely, I think if you're wearing a company T-shirt, that's all you have, that's cool. But consider what I'm saying as far as just trying to take it up an extra notch. If you have dirty sneakers and you have a brand new pair of sneakers, when you reopen, it's the time to wear the brand new pair. It's that time to look as clean as possible, because cleanliness is going to be on the forefront of everyone's mind. So that was a little pause in between demos, but let's go ahead and jump into the tags, which was the other feature that went live. It's a very easy feature to use. I'm going to jump into it. You're going to see right here on the dashboard of Tint Wiz, the big green button that says Add Contact. This is your first step as a Tint Wiz user. It's to add a contact. So whether you use Tint Wiz now, well, if you use it now, you already know. But if you haven't used it yet and you're saying, I don't know where to get started by adding a contact. That contact can be yourself. It can be a fake name. It can be your mom. It can be your wife. It doesn't matter, your husband. Just add a contact and see what adding a contact's about. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to run into the tag area real quick. So name of contact, we're going to do John, and I like to do this phone number so we know it's a demo, and that's it. Let's just say we got a name and phone number. A lot of times we don't get much more than that. Now I want to show you the tags, but I want to get out of the way. So I'm going to move myself. I'm going to take a little, let me move over here. And this is going to be a better place for me to demo those tags, which you actually see right over here, which is kind of cool. Oh, I ran out, but right over there. Okay, so you see where it says find and enter tags. This is where you're going to enter tags. And when you go in here, you're going to see that there's some preset tags available, and you're going to enter a tag. These are examples of tags. This is an organizational way to better organize your contacts and your jobs and so on. So tags can be anything you want them to be. You can create your own tags in here just by entering them. So you could say, let's say this is a contractor, and you can hit enter, and we're going to hit yes. And now we've added a contractor as a tag, and I can go ahead and tag that as a contractor. We can say that the contractor also was let's say he was from Google. That's how they found us. So now I know this is a contractor that found us on Google. You can tag people however you want. I want to explain the logic of tags because everybody's going to kind of use it differently. But the idea of tags is tags are little labels you can put on your contacts, on your customers, so that you can then go into your contact section over here. So let's go. Are you going to navigate away? Let's save this first. So I just saved that contact. I saved him with some tags. And now you can see right here under the notes area in this contact, let me go down over here, you can see right there contact or the tags. So you can see contractor and Google. Now these are searchable tags. So when you go into contacts over here, you're actually able to click in here and you can actually search by tags. And when you have more of them populated, you'll see them all pop up here. I'm going to go back to that customer. I can click here. I can see my leads added. I can see John was the last lead added, and we're back in here. So contractors are an organizational feature of Tint Wiz. You just need to think about what works for you. How do you want to separate your customers? So I'll give you an example of how to use a tag. If you want to separate where you found your leads from, you can do that. So if you wanted to add a tag like if you wanted to tag somebody as, let's say this tag came from Home Advisor. So now I can, if I tag every customer that comes in from Home Advisor as a Home Advisor tag, then at any point I can go ahead and search the contacts for all the Home Advisor contacts. I can then start to use analytics to figure out, well, how many of our Home Advisors did we get and how many did we sell this week, this month, this year? How much money came in from those Home Advisors? I can also say, okay, I'm going to pull up all my contacts that are contractors. Then you can take that information and you could, let's say, export it and mass email them all or market to them. You can basically sort your contacts however you want, and that's going to allow you to do things like you can export all your contractors and you can do a Facebook ad specific to contractors. You can then export your if you have interior designers and do a Facebook ad specifically towards interior designers, or a mailer, an emailer, or a paper mailer, so on. This is just an amazingly simple and easy way for you to start separating. Even if it's a car dealer, if you want to say, hey, I'm going to tag all my car dealer projects as car dealers, and then I can start to see which ones are car dealers and which ones aren't. So tags, it's an easy feature. It's one that there's best practices to stick within, but it's one that ultimately you're going to use it however you want. Now, let me give you an example of how you're not going to use it. You don't need to tag somebody like, let's say it's a Tesla, and you get a Tesla in and you add them in here as a project. You don't need to tag them as a Tesla. And the reason being is Tesla is already a category in Tint Wiz because it's a vehicle type. So if you set up a project for a Tesla, then you're still going to be able to search in contacts and pull up all your Teslas, or in your projects rather, proposals. Let's go to projects and let's see, you'll see I can type in Tesla, and I don't need them to be in there tagged as Tesla, because I can just search Tesla. I can search the year of the Tesla even. I can search, I want to find 2020 Teslas, and I can see that there's a Tesla 2020, or if I say I want to search all Teslas, and then I can scroll down here and I can see the years, I can see the models, I can see the colors, and I can see the status. So, by vehicle type is not going to be necessarily a way you're going to need to tag people. You're going to do that in different ways, like maybe by job type or by position, if you want to do it for, like I said, contractors, or you want to do it for Whatever comes your way. So David said, I'm guessing tagging would be your best personal description to better find out you're already entered by yourself. What? I'm guessing tagging would be your best personal description to better find you're already entered by your self contacts. It's all for sorting the people you want to find for yourself. That's exactly right. It's all for sorting the people you want to be able to find later. It's how you want to be able to search your customers. This gives you the flexibility to do that however you want, and super easily. And then, like I mentioned before, every one of, you're not limited to the amount of people, like how you tag. So I'm going to come back to that customer real quick. I'm just clicking leads added because that's an easy way. So I'm going to show you a few different ways. Let's take this as a quick opportunity to show you a couple different ways that I can easily reference a customer I just added. So let's say you just added a customer and you want to reference them. I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can find them so easily. So number one, the one that I used just now is I clicked leads added right here. I click it and I can see it pops down, leads added. I can see John was a lead added. I can see when it was added right here and by who it was added on the right side of the screen. And I can just do that by clicking leads added. All of these stats up here, these I call them the pulse of the business. They all have that ability to click down, and you can click consult scheduled, install scheduled. And this is going to pop up and show you from most recent to oldest, anything that was added today. So boom, right there, I can click and I can see John was added. I can click it and boom, I'm looking at John's overall contact information. When I go back, another way to do it, you see this new leads area and there's a 2. So I'm going to click in there and I can see that John was added here and John's in here as a new lead. The reason John's in here as a new lead is because I added him here without creating a project for him. So when we click into John, we can see I have John, I have his phone number, I have notes, I have tags, but I don't have a project for him. Okay, so because we don't have a project for him, he's still in the new leads area because he's still a new lead. I don't have a project. When he has a project, now he's no longer a new lead for me. He's a project, and then you can follow up with him as you do your projects along the way. But for right now, he's a new lead. So you see him right here in that new lead area with the number 2. And he's going to stay a new lead until you either add a project or you hit this button right here that says dismiss from leads. Dismiss from leads, I can click it. It's going to make me confirm. And then now he's no longer in the new lead area. I can click it if I want to undo what I just did, but you can see if I go back to Tint Wiz's dashboard, that number went from 2 to 1, showing that, we no longer have John in here as a new lead. Of course, John still here is right here. And if I go to contacts, I'm going to see John. He's my most recent contact. He's right here because contacts are always going to show you most recent to oldest, so you can always pull them up that way. Now, the only reason to dismiss him from the new leads is if you run into a case where he's not going to turn into a project for whatever reason, maybe he already got the service done or whatnot, no longer interested. He's not, the new lead area is your place. It's your pond of leads for you to go fishing whenever you have a chance. So anybody who's potentially going to be a customer that isn't a project yet should be in your new leads, and you dismiss them when you no longer want them in there. When the fish dies, you no longer need it in your lake to fish with, so you get them out of there. You can dismiss it from leads. You'll always have that record in your database, but you don't want to go fishing in that lead area. You want to keep the lead area just everybody who's potentially going to be a customer. So when you have a few minutes, it's as simple as clicking on your new leads, following up with all those leads, and converting them into projects. So that's it. Those are 3 different ways to get into your leads, and you can see how simple. There's a 4th way. 4th way would be using this search right here. You can just click and search, and you can see that John popped up right away because he was the most recent. But you can also just search by name, and you're going to see all the different Johns in here, and and you can click through them. So whatever's easiest for you is how you can do that. And again, just something I was trying to point out and then got a little off track was you can add as many tags to a contact as you'd like, because again, it's your way to search your contacts. So that's about it for this Thursday. Those are the 2 things that I wanted to go over with Tint Wiz. I appreciate everybody who joined in live. If you have questions about the inventory, if you have questions about the contacts, again, the absolute best way to get questions answered, no matter what those questions are, is right here on the bottom left. You see the support. click that, click into the live chat and start a live chat with us. You're always talking to a team member. You're talking to somebody who intimately knows window tinting, intimately knows Tint Wiz, and we take our support really seriously. Our support is not just helping people with questions, but it's just helping. It's there. It's a feature of Tint Wiz. That's why it's here in the main menu. Because it is a feature, just like you're going to use your analytics, just like you're going to use inventory. You should be using your support anytime you need. And within that support area, you're going to see the help center. If you click that help center, you're going to see a list of tutorials. And what is Tint Wiz? Getting started. So you'll see in the getting started area, there's 7 articles in there. Registering an account, updating your business address and settings, sending invitations to your team, lead forms explained, adding and managing your contacts, adding projects, and so on. And then when we go back to all of those things, you'll see managing your products. And if we click in there, you're going to see how to add and edit measurements, adding and editing vehicle application areas, creating and sending proposals. And if you click in here, you get information we've prepared with screenshots that show you step by step by step how to add films, how to create proposals, and so on. I mean, you can see this is just one how-to on how to create a proposal. So if you're wondering how to create a proposal, if you're wondering if this is a time you just simply want to learn Tint Wiz, this is where you're going to do it. Go to the help center. Go to the help section, rather. You're going to find that in the support area. Whether you use the live chat, whether you use the help center, either way, you're going to get a lot of information. This is the time. And that's it. This is another Tint Wizdom. Appreciate everybody watching. We'll be back on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, and stay healthy. See you then.